Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Let's see where I'm up to now. Let me see where I'm up to. I hope everybody's okay on this very cold, sleety, snowy March, early March evening. I just can't believe it. First time I've been out today for half an hour. Well, yeah, I've been out for half an hour, and that's first time in 2 days. Keeping my mum warm. She's here next to me. Oh, you can't see her. She's next to me. Good evening, Mark Williams, and good evening, Jan. Good evening. I'm just going to put my website link in the chat. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you. We're well on the way to getting enough money for the 3 sets of 5,000 leaflets. We're well on the way. So, and 2 sets of the leaflets now are in editors and being edited and sorted out. I think one of them's done. So that's good. And so maybe in the next couple of weeks, the first lot of leaflets will be going out in Merseyside. But like, I just can't tell everyone how important the election is. And everyone from Oldham, and I know all the Oldhamers know it's important, and we've got a lot of more candidates. It'll be surprising to see how many candidates we've got in total running, including independents and all the political parties. It'll be surprising to see, and I think it's going to be probably the highest number of candidates that have ever run in Oldham will be in May ever. And I've got to say, I'm thinking it's going to be one of the biggest in the country, one of the biggest amounts of candidates running in the country. Honestly, guys, I've done videos on elections for the past 4 or 5 years. You've heard me talk. You've heard me tell you about political parties. We've got like 200 now, over 200 hyper-local political parties that can run anywhere in the country to get a candidate. And even the Oldham ones, if they wanted to, they could go national. But they're a bit. The thing is, they're a bit stale in Oldham. They're not thinking big. People are thinking that we can solve the rape gang scandal just one town at a time, and that's never going to happen. It needs to be nationally sorted out. And I don't just say this because I don't just say it off the whim or anything like that. I can tell you off what I know about the rape gangs, the court cases, the involvements with the councils, the involvement with taxi ranks and firms, people paying other people off shit. I can tell you all about that, which gives me a good judge of opinion on what we should do. And it's a national thing. You're never going to sort it out one town at a time. Now, Maggie Oliver does not do one town at a time. She tackles lots of different cases and lots of different areas. And it'd be really selfish and ignorant of anybody to think that we'll just sort our town out first. That's not like British values. That's not a proper British or English value. That it isn't. But we've all been indoctrinated to be like this and to be against each other for the littlest, slightest thing. What you don't get with Big John, you don't get me trolling people. You don't get me into big scandalous fights on Facebook I don't personally attack one individual all the time. I might attack a group. And I'm a good team player, and I'm a good person to talk to. So Oldham independents and Oldham councillors, why don't you come on a stream with me? I have a pretty good range, social media audience, and it can be really good if independents and other councillors got together and we did some streaming and stuff like that. If you don't want to, you don't want to. You don't want to. I'm not telling you that you have to do it, but it'd be beneficial to you to let other people know how you think and stuff like that. So any independents, any local councillors who will partake in a stream, I'll get some kind of official thing set up on Facebook. But you know, we should be talking together. And I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to agree with everything that everyone else will say. But then again, I won't be cancelling you. I won't be slagging you off. I won't attack you with politically correct statements. I won't do that. We can have a decent discussion. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in. Yes, Craig, James, Major the General, good evening. Oldham's biggest election, guys. Oldham's biggest election. It's going to have the most candidates ran at any one time in Oldham. And I think that is going to be big nationally as well. We have 20 wards, a total of 60 councillors and 3 members of parliament. And the members of parliament seats are up for grabs. And I think Raja Mia might try running as one. The member of parliament, you need a £500 deposit. You get that back if you get over a percentage of the votes. But it's nothing. It's not big. And if you've got a good team, it's fine. And he's got a lot of support from around Oldham. So yeah, he does. You know, Ferdows if he runs, Ferdows. That's good. We want people running against the members of parliament as well. I'm in no condition to do that, me. I'm a local council level, me. That's what I'm sticking to for the near future. If our party grows, we expand, we get candidates in other wards in Oldham, then in some years' time, I might consider going for a member of parliament position. But until then, it's local councils, and we need to get everyone to stand up. That's what we need to do. So I'm starting my campaign now. This is a video to start my campaign. If anyone would like to donate or anything to any costs that we have, and we've got 3 candidates running, PayPal's up there, and I will put the link, the proper link, in the chat in shortly. But yeah, so Oldham's biggest election. I'm so excited. I'm excited for everyone who's going to run. And you know, best of best to everyone. I know I'm going to get a nice stock of votes. I know I am. I didn't do well in November, but I wish I'd never run now in November, tell you the truth, guys. I should have just carried on knocking, preparing for May. So now, about six weeks now, I didn't do any knocking or chatting with people. And I don't think, but Pat said I should have run. But I did. So 174 votes in May. I came third. 59 votes this time. And then in this May, I know it's going to be over 200. I know it is. There's a lot of candidates running. So there's a good chance. Whereas the Labour candidate got in on 900 votes. It's going to be less. It's going to be less people. There'll be less people voting for him. So the candidate you might only be able to. You might have to get 6, depending. I mean, 22% turnout in Oldham. So let's say we expect 30% turnout because it's a big election. Maybe 35% turnout. So it was roughly about 2,000. Votes. So 35%, you can expect 3,000 people to turn out, or 3,000 votes, or something on that line, maybe 2,500 to 3,000 votes. And there's 3 seats up for grabs. So you could get a seat off 600 votes if people got votes. Each independent got a good stock of votes, and I know they will. What the other independent, she's certainly going to get minimum 100 votes. I'm hoping for 200 plus at least. That's my minimum. But we'll see. We'll see. But it's such an important election. I just can't tell everyone enough how important this election is to me, to Oldham, and to the United Kingdom. There'll be things changing. There'll be things changing if we can take Labour off control of the council and reduce the Tory and Lib Dem counts as well, and get independents in. As soon as we've got more than half independents, 15 independents, as soon as we've got 15 or more independents in, you watch things change in Oldham. You watch things change in Oldham, ladies and gentlemen. There will be changing for the better. I can promise you that. I can absolutely 100% promise you that. It certainly is, Gerald. It certainly is. And at the moment, the new segregation they did was the Eastern Europeans, Gerald. And they put them on the Ashton Road area, the Primrose Bank area, on one side of the road. And on the other side is mainly Pakistanis. And within a year, 2 years, a post on Facebook from the Pakistani community was saying, we're going to go over and burn them all out on the other side of the road. Honestly, I kid you not. That's what happened. That's what happened at that time. And that was just about referendum time, about 2016, mate. And it hasn't got any better. It hasn't got any better. But the thing that makes it worse now is the housing situation, Gerald. Right? There's like HMOs are popping up everywhere. A lot of antisocial behaviour in them. And like near where I am, near Orsted Street in Oldham, you go down to the bottom and it connects with Yorkshire Street. And there used to be 2 pubs, the Shakespeare and the Royal, I think that's what they were called. And the Shakespeare now is an HMO. So this is in the town centre. There's 2 big blocks of flats. Very antisocial behaviour area. The town centre, which is a section of St Mary's, is the worst crime area in Oldham, and it's in the top list in Greater Manchester. And in this HMO, I think there's 8. Now there's 3 flats, and in one of them is a woman with a young kid in one of these. And the area, you know, like when she goes in, she doesn't come out. She won't be coming out at night or anything like. You won't. And, you know, like the kid, I don't know if there's a backings to it, but I don't know if that kid's got any, like, garden or anything. In Hollins, where I am, a couple I talked to on Hollins Road, they've got 4 children, a dog, and there's 2 adults, and they're in an house right next to the main road. They haven't even got a back garden, mate. And when they open the front door, the buzzes and the main road is there. There's nowhere for kids to go. There's not even. There's a lot of houses in Oldham that are like that, and not just in Hollins, but across the Oldham borough. Oldhamers know this, and there's no backings, no decent backyards, and there's no decent. You come out your front door and you're on the main road. Mate, you're on a main road with buses going up and down, a main bus route, cars and just really busy area, and there's just nowhere, you know, and a lot of places in Oldham like that. And obviously it was from the old mill house design, and they didn't all have big back gardens. I don't ever remember. I think only till my later life did we get a back garden, and we used to have one of them that had a toilet in the corner, and it was about 8 foot wide and maybe about 12 foot long or something like that. And we had a little stone thing in the corner with a toilet, and that's where the toilet was the earliest I remember. And I'm sure other people will remember that in the old houses. And you know, me and Pat started the National Housing Party up because we're in a housing crisis, guys. National housing crisis. Loads of our property has been given away. Don't think I'm pulling any punches here. A major thing I have issue with is housing in Oldham. Why they're building temples on housing ground and why they're giving houses away to mosques when we've got an housing crisis. And the woman I was talking about with the little kid is a Muslim woman at the bottom of Odysee Street with a little kid, like locked up in an HMO. And I'm just not having it. I'm just not having it. You know, it goes beyond any kind of racial issue or anything like that. It's nothing to do with that. But like what the council's priority, housing or building temples and giving houses away to mosques. Honestly, and I'm so infuriated over this issue. So over this next 7 or so weeks, I'll show you all this. And I was at a local meeting last week, and I did record it, but I'm not putting the recordings up because it'll upset too many people by the way I was giving it the housing officials and the councillors who were there. And there was a councillor there, chief executive of the council, three or four members of the housing association, and I give it them verbally. And said my piece on what I think of the situation. And I'm not. I don't have to prove anything because we're a councillor there. She heard me, and this councillor and chief exec have heard me in the council saying that I don't. About asking about polling boxes because Oldham's had problems with voter fraud. That's what I said to the chief exec, the Lib Dem, the Labour candidate, and the other independent in front of them in the council. So I don't have to prove anything. What I say is what I've done already. I'm not no one who makes things up or anything. I said that about polling boxes. I asked a question about sealing them. The chief exec said, well, you can't get to all of them. We've got to get them back here. And I said, well, you can have polling agents and election agents who can check the seals on the boxes. You can do that. And in a big election, I'd hope to have 8 election agent and at least 8 polling agents and stuff like that. So I've said these things. And I said it the other week. A friend of mine, Marvin Greaves, his daughter and granddaughter were inappropriately talked to by some guy out of a barber's. So I told the police about that. Marvin told me that he'd reported it. So when we're at this meeting, the police, and I told the police, said, Marvin Greaves, right, well, his daughter's been inappropriately talked to. So we look out for the report and get it investigated because it's a shop on the road and we don't know who the people are in the shop. They might be illegal immigrants. That's what I said to police. I'm just telling the truth, me. I'm just telling the truth. Another issue is that I've recently come across is White Bank Road and the Avro Football Club. And let me see if I can get... I'll just get... I'll just bear with me a minute. I have definitely got some evidence towards this. Right. Save. Right. How do I do this now? One sec, guys. Oh. So, I mean, obviously, I'm campaigning. But it's I'll be working as well, doing some investigations. I've got there's people who've offered me evidence to look at like corruption within the council, and I'll look at it. And if that evidence is true and fair and factual, then I will speak out about it. But so last April, when I were on the campaign, I went down White Bank Road when I was delivering leaflets, and Tush your tape, Mum out. Sorry. One sec. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I was going down White Bank Road and got the Avro football club thing at the side. And that particular day or evening, I was going down. It was April, and it was about a week before the election, the 5th of May. So it's right at the end of April. And it was an evening, and it was so noisy when I went down. And I just took mental note of it to look at, investigate after, because across the road there's some houses. And across the road there's some houses. And it was noisy. But since then, I've been contacted, and the page on Facebook is Limeside and Garden Suburbs against Oldham Council and Avros FC. And honestly, you just want to how loud that music is, and I can imagine the woman who was in the meeting with me last week, she was talking about it to the police, and she was saying how sometimes during the day they see guys coming out who've been in there. They might be getting in vehicles and taxis, and they're peeing on the street outside the houses. And it's a really like residential area. This is right on Limeside. There's loads of family houses, or a estate full of family houses, except for the Avro place. And it just looks like right now nobody gets listened to in Oldham off anybody, really. They don't. And the ones, some do stand up and say the right things, but they're still politically correct. They still won't be truthful, and they won't be honest. And I think a lot of the people in the council are like the bully types. I do think I do feel like that. I'm not saying everyone, but that's how it goes to me. And like I've talked about Oldham and how within the council, and this is not just Oldham, Rotherham, all the places where we've had serious trouble with like gang rape and council corruption, Labour areas, and they're awful areas. And the councils are run by fear, intimidation, bullying, misogyny, and stuff. That's how the councils are run. You know what I mean? But they tell us that we can't do it, but it's all right for them to do it within the councils, within the political parties, the Labour Party and the Conservative Party. And like some of the things that the Labour Party say, the Conservatives, and the way they're treated off people is just unbelievable. They're just not human beings. If you have to go and if you have to hide behind a mask for whatever reason, and you have a fake name, you're not a real person, you should take it. Don't matter about your job. Like they can't sack me for having an opinion and running as a councillor. I'll fight it, me. I won't have it. And you can fight them these days now. You can fight them with organisations. If you ever feel that you're bullied, intimidated over your views, you need to contact organisations. And Lawrence Fox's Free Speech Union, that organisation, has helped people in this kind of situation. We have to stand up to them. I know there's going to be some casualties. There always is in any kind of games or I'm not saying, I don't want to say war or campaign. There's always casualties, but you know, we have to get beyond that, and we have to be able to speak out and speak out truthfully. And you know, I don't really get that much attacked than other people for a few particular reasons. I don't rant on about Islam. I'm ignorant of religion, mate. I'm not ignorant, but it's not the main thing on my issue. I mean, we know we've had the rape gangs, but it was white people who let it get that bad, right? It was white people who let it get that bad. I'm just going to be blunt. And I mean, if you look at the Labour councils and stuff like that, all these white people have been politically correct, or the left-leaning, and they're them kind of people who don't believe in Great Britain. You know, they want to be part of the EU, just want to break us all up. All them kind of people, and the majority of them were white, and they've got us into this situation. So nobody points at me on accusations of racism, this, racism, that. If you've done something wrong, you're going to get it. I don't care what colour, religion, anything. If you've screwed over working class people within a council or that kind of organisation, you're coming down. You're going to end up coming down, guys, because the normal working class are rising up, and we're not sticking with this rubbish anymore. We're not sticking this rubbish. Council tax, yeah. Croydon, right? Croydon. Council tax 15% up, and they've been bankrupt 3 times in 2 years. A badly run council. Oldham's a badly run council. I've showed you that before, guys. I've done videos on Oldham showing you how badly it's run, and the council, and it's the same, and it's across the country. It's not a one town issue. You know what I mean? Honestly, you know, I just don't know what to say. We're on a crossroads, ladies and gentlemen. The Adjes, honestly, you know, it's unbelievable. You know what I mean? It's just unbelievable. And then, you know, we've let the multiculturalism and diversity push is affecting us. And we have people, I've said this about Oldham Council, and I'll say it again, we have people within the council aren't capable of doing the jobs properly. They're not the type of people we want doing the jobs. They put people in positions because of diversity, which is, it crumbled the rest of it and made it all a mix. I've said it about Oldham Council. I don't care what anyone thinks. No one's ever questioned me. No candidate, no hardly anyone has ever questioned me, because everything I say is what's factually right. Let's look at the Richer report into Oldham. And that it give a similar within the council. It give a similar thing to Rotherham Council. And the Rotherham J's report, they found a little report separate to do with just the council. They found intimidation, bullying, misogyny, racism. Yeah. And it wasn't just like white racism. It wasn't whites against black. It was racism all circles. Yeah. In Oldham, in the Richer report, it states the same kind of thing. And the preferences to give minority communities priority in housing and stuff. It's the same. It's the same. So that's Rotherham in South Yorkshire, and then Oldham as well. And the same kind of things within the council. And both areas have been hit with child sexual exploitation. What do you want me to say, ladies and gentlemen? And again, Oldhamers, don't think you can sort out your town and it will stop. It won't be like that. We've got to be done on a national way to sort this issue out. Otherwise, what you'll find out, just come into your town again from the towns around it. If you just think you can just sort out your town. And, you know, like I'm going on about child sexual exploitation, and in this past 12 months now, since I ran the first time, I've come across several people linked to child sexual exploitation in Hollywood, guys, in Hollywood. So it's an issue to me. And if the independents don't want to bother with it, fair enough. I'll bother with it. I'll be the one who'll tell you the truth. But if the independents just don't want to bother with that, but I'll focus on helping that and the vulnerable people. And I've come across this in 12 months. I've also come across teen murderers. Two lads off Elm Road, two lads off Limeside, around 19 years old, jailed for murder, a gang murder in Moston. I can't count how many knife attacks and stuff like that goes on in that area. Will the independents tackle that, or will you not say anything about it or out like that? You know, I think these are serious issues. Our schools, Failsworth School's in the spotlight. Failsworth School, another school that people who vote for me go to that school, and that's under fire for the girls fighting outside the school and several other issues within the school. One father off Failsworth went to the Manchester Evening News and showed a picture of what the toilets were like in it. His son's too scared to go to the toilets in case he gets taxed and bullied. Good evening. Yes, Carlos. Yes, Mr. Saxon. Mr. Rick, thank you for coming in, guys. Thank you. I'm on a campaign, guys. I need some money. I need some donations. We're not far off enough money for 3 sets of leaflets, which is Bristol area, Merseyside and Oldham, our 3 primary candidates. And I mean, on a good guess, I think our Gary in Merseyside is going to do well. Gary is going to do well, which is a good thing. Probably, I don't have to. I hate saying it, but I think he's going to do better than me. But anyway, so that's what we need. So my link's in there for PayPal. I've put my website link up. And when you want people who are actually doing something, whether you agree or not, whether you agree with voting or not, I'm doing something, me. And in the process of doing it, I'm learning. And in the process of learning, I'm making change. I've already helped people within Oldham get access to council people, and they're talking. We've had a couple of meetings with the council. I'm learning to interact with the council. I've already, the Chief of Adult Social Services says I've got a very calming demeanor when we're in a meeting and stuff like that, in a sit-down meeting. That's what he said to me. And this is the boss of Adult Social Services, or one of the bosses, and another couple of council people who've been sat down and come and talk to us. So I'm learning and I'm doing the right thing. I don't want to be disruptive in the council. I don't want to be banging on screens or anything like that. I went a bit out of my mouth in Hollywood the other day, but I still sat down with the police in Chief Constable Bowen, who I'd already met at the Oldham question time. And I met him and I said, I've met you before, actually, Oldham question time. And I talked about political correctness, vetting police. And I said, you all may as well be sex offenders, crooks and gangsters. That's what I said to him last week. But, you know, I said these things in the Oldham Merse question time, and he was there, so he heard me. But you know, so I'm learning, I'm getting in. Now, even if I don't get a seat, I'm a thorn in the council's side. I'm talking to people. I'm getting people to stand up. I'm getting people to vote differently. So I'm making a difference all the time. Even though I'm not even a councillor, I'm still making a difference. And so that's why you should support me. That's why you should support me and the National Housing Party. That's why you should support us, because we're doing stuff and we're pushing to do things. Pat's made a big impact in London with his Exit the 1951 Refugee Convention banner. He made a big impact. He got in the media. It got that bad that the lefties were attacking us through the Electoral Commission, and we nearly didn't get our party started. Sadiq Khan mentioned one of our banner drops, and our banner's been seen in Dover. It's been seen in Manchester at the Tory conference. So it's not like we're just started a party and we want money now. We've already been campaigning. Pat's been hardcore campaigning with that banner, paid for that banner himself, and we did the first banner drop in Dover the week before that big demo where little veteran came, a couple of weeks before that, when we had that demo then. And it's been on it ever since. But like I said, it's got on mainstream media. There's clips of him on BBC, GB News, with his banner, Exit 1951 Refugee Convention banner. And while I'm saying that, 1 minute. I don't know if you can see it. Oh. No. Well, I've got me Exit 19. So, yeah. So we're doing stuff. So if you want to support someone who's doing someone who's out there, someone who shows his face, someone who streams, someone who's not scared of getting his camera out, someone who does filming and stuff like that. I don't know if any of the others do it. There's only a couple of the independents and that who do stuff, but no one does as much as me in Oldham on videoing and stuff like that, and calling them out. And a lot of the stuff I say, other people won't even say because they're too scared. They're too scared, and we're not having any of this political correctness rubbish. It's got to be said. I'm never going to be politically correct. I won't. We've all been indoctrinated with it. Me personally, been politically correct before, ladies and gents. So I've never denied that I'm immune to it. I have. I admit it a couple of times, and it's not nice being politically correct. And it was nothing to do with any kind of child sexual exploitation inquiry, but I have, and we've all done it. We've all done it. Now, it's not a bad thing that we've all done it. It's a learning thing to make sure we don't do it again, and we be as truthful, as honest as we can be, and support the working class, because we're the worst ones under threat. We're the ones giving everyone all the money. Now, I haven't said anything, but some councillors said that they're going to give the money away and stuff like that if they become a councillor. I haven't said anything like that. I haven't said anything like that. But this year, when the council got a rise, a few members of the council refused to accept the rise. Right? And it's the same across the country. All our councillors are getting rises, but they're not doing anything. Potholes aren't going to get any better. They're forcing all this 15-minute city rubbish, the ULEZ, the CAS tax. They're forcing all this on us to just even take even more money, and it's not fair. And I'm not in fully agreement with everybody on every issue, but I understand. You know what I mean? I don't understand enough about the 15-minute cities. I get what the kind of control they're doing and stuff like that. There's other issues. Obviously, we have technology issues such as 5G, and I'm not saying I'm a wizard at it, but in the 80s, there was people came out to tell us that what was bad, and we didn't listen to them. So, but yeah, the cost of living crisis is hitting everyone, right? Not just people in Oldham, everywhere else. But like, I haven't heard any of the independents go on about money that goes out of Oldham. We put money into Ukrainian fund that we shouldn't have done. No one says anything about these issues because you've got to really be politically correct to become a councillor. But in situations like we are in Oldham, this is where independents get in. It's been done a couple of times in recent history. In the 2000s, it was the BNP that got over 100 council seats and several European members. And then again in 2015, 16, when UKIP got 3 or 4 million votes or whatever, and then they got a lot of council seats. So it's been done twice, but now it's the rise of the independent parties. the little tiny political parties, not the mainstream ones, the parties like mine, the independent who's running in Saddleworth, the independent who's running in Shaw. It's up to us now. All the little political parties and the independents. And this is our time, guys. This is our time. This is our time. My words, this is our time. This is our time. Good evening, Arlene. Yes, Roch. Oh, yeah, the Roch. Yeah, it's a good one, that. It's a good one. It's a good one. But yeah, I'll put PayPal links up there in the chat. Please share and tell people to watch me, to donate. Like I said, we're doing stuff, us. Whether you believe in voting or not, I'm doing something. I'm physically doing something that can have a more fundamental change than just street protesting and stuff like that. And, you know, I've done my 5 years of street protesting. I've had enough now. And local elections is where I want to go. So please, please, please share. Tell people. I want you to ask people. If you know people on other platforms, show them my video. Say, do you like John Lawrence? To say, yeah, oh, he's not bad. Tell them to donate to the party. Please tell them. And I know that a lot of you do, and you do push it for me. But you know, we just need to like really get on it, guys, now. And this is a time, honestly. I'm excited because this is definitely the time that we are going to make big change in and around Oldham. We are going to make big change in and around Oldham. Right, so I'm just going to do this quick. So yeah, I've got about what are we on now? Now I've just got under 8 weeks. So there's 8 postcode areas in Hollins. So I'm going to try and do one a week. I'm going to start off by going to the Victoria Hotel that's housing migrants, that's costing us millions of pounds. When I was walking round and I've knocked on 300 doors, 290 of them said about housing them people and not doing enough for homeless. Honestly, that's what people were telling me. And I haven't seen any of the independents mention it in any of the leaflets. Mine was on the leaflet, and I weren't pulling any punches either on my leaflets. So you know, so I'm going to start there. That's where I'm going to start. It's just outside the Hollingwood area, but it's connected to Hollingwood, South Chadderton, Failsworth are all next to it. But it should be done. Then I'm going to take a trip to the Hollingwood hub that's got a Costa coffee on. We spent millions of pounds on. People are not happy with that. And then obviously I'll be going around the estates and I'll be talking about some of the issues that I've learned about this year. Environmental health, rats and stuff like that, which has been addressed by the council in the last election leaflet off Hazel, the woman the Labour candidate. Now, I'd already had it on my leaflets before then. And I'm not saying it was anything to do with me, but I made it. It was on my leaflets and I'd already delivered 1,000 leaflets. You know, I'd already delivered a few thousand leaflets and it was all on there. Then all of a sudden, Labour are doing something about it. But good, they're working on it. antisocial behaviour. I emailed First Choice Homes, and they started a bit of an investigation, some surveillance. I don't think anything come of that, but I think something's come since. And I've also emailed Great Places, and then talked to the police last week about the incident involving a guy who votes for me, who's helped me, who introduced himself to me, called Steve, being attacked in his area. And some week last year, in October, November, there was a stabbing and a hostage situation in that area, all related to one house, one particular house. So last week I went to police in the local meeting. I said about the Hawksley Street area, and I said I just said the number of the house, and then the police were fully well aware. That's what they said, and they've told the police have said to Great Places to sort the issue out. Now I did email Great Places, but they've only just recently emailed me back. Over a week, but they did email me back. It took over a week. Great Places and the police are aware of incidents that have been reported, and they are being investigated. That's all they said. I couldn't ask for anything else. Me email to them, I did say what number house, and I said give the dates of the incidents and all that lot. So I am trying to interact with the housing associations. I introduced myself to all the girls last week as well. And they all asked, do you know how to get in contact with us? And yeah, because I've emailed First Choices and I've emailed Great Places. So I'm active. I'm not even a councillor. I'm still getting into things and stuff. We've got a council meeting next week, and I'm thinking about going to it. A lot of the public are annoyed, and I'm going to the meeting next week. I've emailed in a question about housing, and I'm going to attend the public meeting next Wednesday, the 15th, in Oldham. I think there might be a bit of a protest on the day, but I want to ask the question myself in the council chambers, and it's all recorded. If they let me ask the question, that's a good thing, because the question is not a politically correct question. That's what I'm telling you. That's whether they even let me say it or they read it out. But that is the question, and I'm not going to tell you, but it'd be great if it got read out or they let me say it. So that's next Wednesday in the council. So yeah, I'm trying to understand and get into the area, and I don't have to understand the area. Some of my longest friends live down there, and I've lived on Lower Lime Road myself in the early 2000s. And the early 2000s, might be about 2004, 2005. Did a couple of years there. Before that, in around mid-90s, we spent time on White Bank Road in the old one up, one down flats that they had before they built the new houses. So it's not like it's somewhere I don't know. The woman in the Labour candidate lives in Saddleworth, and she's running in Hollingwood. I don't think she has any. I don't know if she has links to Hollingwood, but like I said, it's our local cemetery. A lot of my friends, school friends, some of our oldest friends, family friends live in that area. My nephews have lived in that area. I have lived in that area. Might not now, but I have done. And I've been down that area regular throughout all my life. So no one can tell me that I'm not, I'm ignorant or I don't know whatever. I haven't met everybody, but I do know a lot of people in the area. That's why I ran, because of the people in the area. And some connections I have and stuff like that. So again, we're doing things. The National Housing Party, we're doing things. Good evening, Aunt Sally. We're having Pat's having a meeting Monday. I'll message you. I'll message you the details just in case you can make it or anything. But it's having a meeting Monday. And we've got Paul Rimmer down as well, Sally. He'll be at the meeting. So that'd be good. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone in chat for coming on. Sorry you've heard me going on. I mean, again, I have to say this. I have to say this again to people in Oldham, really. Now, if you think you're going to sort out child sexual exploitation in Oldham without dealing with it nationally, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. It won't work. It's got to be a big national thing, this, to solve child sexual exploitation. And what we need to do is convict people who have been involved in it, counsellors, anybody. They need to go have convictions and go to court. Otherwise, other people will never learn that you can't do these things because we don't convict counsellors. There was a deputy leader, Councillor Jabbar in Oldham, in 2019, were running to be a candidate. And his mate, who was walking around him, canvassing with him with a red rosette on, was a convicted paedophile. And, you know, like, they thought it was, Councillor Jabbar must have thought it were all right. You know, he could do that. But it isn't all right to do stuff like that. And on the other foot, if I walk around with a convicted paedophile campaigning, I'd soon be on national news. That's why I can't do with Oldham. Coming up as well, we know what's happened about the scuffed Quran. Obviously, the school teacher in Batley, I did a big week tour up Batley to do with that. I got a lot of views on my YouTube, and I even earned revenue that month when I went up to Batley. I got interviewing George Galloway, Teresa Hurst of the English Democrats, we spent some time with. And, you know, we go on. It started in Birmingham over sex education in school. There was nearly rioting. It came to Oldham over sex education in schools, and live on telly, an Oldham activist who gets money off Oldham Council said on live telly that there could be riots again if you don't take sex education out of school. I don't want sex education as it is now in school, but I'm not prepared to riot over it. And I think we can go a different way on that. And then obviously we went to Batley when the teacher put the Quran up. So the teacher's in hiding. But I mean, what you don't see on the mainstream media is the teacher's in hiding. There's other teachers who are scared. They're not in hiding, but who are scared. And when I was with Teresa Hurst of the English Democrats, we went and talked to a woman whose kids go to that school, and she was scared, and her friends were scared. Everyone was scared. But you don't see that in the mainstream media, do you? They didn't say that in the mainstream media. But, you know, me and Teresa talked to a mother whose children go to that school, and several other people who all knew kids and that who went to that school. They're all shitting themselves because there's no control, you know, like they get what they want, they can say what they want, no one can say anything. But if roles are reversed and it were white people who were doing that, they'd soon get arrested and convicted. So political correctness got to go out of West Yorkshire Police right out the window, and Oldham Police as well, don't worry. God bless. Good evening, sir. Good evening. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I'm going to quit off now, but my campaign starts. Watch out for my videos. I'm going to try and do some little TikToks and little short videos on stuff in Hollins and Oldham over the next 2 months. Big time for me. This has got to be one of the biggest times in my life that I've put effort, and I want to do something so much different to what I normally do. It's the biggest thing in my life, this, guys, honestly. the biggest thing I've ever done. This next 2 months, it will be big. Whether I win or lose, I'm doing a massive thing. I'm standing up to be counted. I'm not politically correct, so I'll get attacked and people will say nasty things about me and all that. But thing is, you get factual things off me. I don't make things up, guys. I'll show you the evidence. We talk about what's going on. We can relate it to stuff that's going on. We talk about this. I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm a know-it-all on rape gangs and that. But guys, I've been to dozens of court cases. I've talked to dozens of girls, organizations. I've been actively involved in talking and exploring the rape gang sector. And as many of you who've traveled with me, they'll know that I know the facts. I can tell you the facts and figures. I can tell you the percentages and stuff like that. I can give you factual things to do with cases such as Jay's report in Rotherham that I studied. Then we've had the Greater Manchester scandal with Victoria Golia and Maggie Oliver and all that. I've read and studied all these things. And, you know, I'm not saying more so than other people, but I do go out my way to make time for this kind of stuff and to learn. And one thing we want to do, we want to learn how to set up organisations to support victims of child sexual exploitation. They've got a really good one in Hull. And me and Arlene have been up to Hull. We've seen them in action. We've talked to some of the girls involved. We've talked to the people supporting them, Ian, Oakley, and the others. We've attended the demos and stuff like that. And we're learning. I've learned a lot from Hull. And they've got a good thing up there supporting girls and being active in demonstrations and all that. They've got a nice group of support. One of the places we went to is a big club, a big like working men's club that is there for events to do with the girls and stuff like that, to do with the victims. And me and Arlene spent a weekend up there, and we went and helped to donate and stuff like that on a Halloween night. So, you know, I'm learning all these things, and I think some of these things that we do in other times can be good can be done in Oldham. And I said this to other Oldham councils. You can all start banging on about child sexual exploitation, but it's got to be tackled other than just bringing people to justice and changing how the police work. We've got to support the girls and stuff like that. That's not my field of area, but I want to learn, and I want other people to get involved to support these girls and stuff in Oldham. The Oldham child sexual exploitation scandal were based around 11 people, but I'm now, after talking to several survivors and victims, I'm quite confident that that's over 100, hundreds, or in the hundreds it'll be, of girls who've been abused in Oldham, yet the report only goes on about 11, right? And, you know, walking around Ollingwood, I was faced with a mother saying that her daughter were bullied in school and nothing were done. And sons who have been bullied in school and nothing. And I'm going to stick up for all these people. So if you want someone to speak up for you, if you want someone to support you by going somewhere, or you have to speak to someone, you want someone to speak for you, I'll do that person. If you want me to ask a question to the council, tell me, email me, and I'll ask that question. If you want to come to a mayor's question time, get in contact with me. I'll support you. You can get your question in. You'll feel a lot better once you can talk openly with chief constables and Andy Burnham, the mayor, and stuff like that. And again, Andy Burnham, no fan, but through me, a friend who we know called who lives in the Abbey area, and her house fell down. Her house, she lost her house in a cave-in in the street. So through me, we ended up getting contact with Andy Burnham, the mayor. Then she's had meetings. We had two. I was in 2 meetings with the mayor, with Bernie, and one of the council chiefs. And the council chief said to me, "Oh, you were involved in the incident." I said, "But my mate is. she's got PTSD. She's suffering from severe anxiety. And if it weren't for me, she won't be talking to the mayor now. And the guy just shut up. The guy just shut up. I was there to support her. I didn't, in the meeting, I never come in telling them what to do or anything. I never said that. I said one thing throughout all the meetings, suggested one thing, and all the rest of the conversation was between Bernie and the mayor. And I left it at, I was just there to support Bernie. I weren't there to speak for her because she could speak for herself. But she was ill at the time. So when I found out about the mayor's question time, I got in contact with her, met her, we went together, and then we got in contact with the mayor, Andy Burnham, the mayor. So, you know, when you want somebody who's going to push that little bit more, if you want someone who can support you like I've supported Bernie, I'll get Bernie on a stream soon, and she'll tell you herself. I supported her, other people as well, not just me. Mank, Dave, Rita, Andrew. There was other people who supported Bernie at the time, but it was me who got in contact with Andy Burnham, and I did that. Not no one else did it. I did it, and I thought it was a good idea. I said to Bernie, I said, well, we can get in contact with the mayor at the mayor's question time. We managed to go together, got hand up, and then that were it. We got in contact with him, and from then on, she got help, and things were getting sorted because she was phoning people and talking to brick walls. That's what she was doing, but things moved on from there, and I did that. Me, Big John, not no big group of people. It weren't even the National Housing Party at the time. It was just me who did this, and I supported my mate Bernie. She'll tell you herself. She's always grateful and everything, and she supported me as well. So yeah, I did that, and that's what I want to do for everyone. If you want a voice, that's who you want to vote for me. But yeah, Big John's on campaign, guys. So please, I want some donations. I know I'm asking a lot, but you know, I'm the man who's doing stuff. We are the party who's doing stuff. The National Housing Party are doing stuff. We're running 3 candidates, guys. We've only been going less than a year, and we're running 3 candidates, and 2 of us are in really good positions of getting hundreds of votes. Not just 50 or 10 or anything, getting hundreds of votes, which will make a big difference to Oldham either way. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. National Housing Party, John Lawrence here. The campaign of my life. The campaign of my life, ladies and gentlemen. The campaign of my life. I've got just under 8 weeks to get knocking, to get leafleting, to get doing my little videos. Watch out for my Facebook. I'll send me little videos by message and everything all over the place, but watch out for them. But thank you for tuning in. Good evening, God bless. I hope you're all right. Alistair as well. Carlos, hope you're good there, my man. Pure blood is the way to go. Thank you, Aunt Sally. Thank you. Again, if you're in Oldham, you want to get in contact with me. I've got a couple of lads already, but I'm eager. I know the area now that I don't need any map to do any leafleting. I know every street. I know where to go. I know which where the boundaries of each individual section is of my ward, and that's just within 12 months. So I will have the maps out, but they're not as needed as I used to. I know the boundaries, and we've had some boundary changes. I think ours has changed a little bit, but I'll get to it. But thank you very much. There's my email. There's Pat's email as well. We're having a London meeting. Aunt Sally, we're having a London meeting on Monday. I don't know if you still got Pat's number, but I'll message you after with the details. But anyone wants to get involved in the London meeting, I've got Paul Rimmer down, so it's going to be a good one. Big Paul's there, and he does a mint speech. He does, I must say. Me saying a live stream that Tommy is anti-white. I don't think I've ever said that, Alistair. Tell you the truth. I've never said, I don't think I've said anything like that myself personally. Someone else might have done, but I'm sure it'd be someone else. But I mean, you know, I'm not on the Tommy train, but what he says about rape gangs, I can't fault him. That I've talked to victims, I've talked to people, I've talked to perpetrators as well. I've talked to police about. I've done all the kind of things he's done, but on a smaller scale. So what, you know, I'm not going to say anything different, you know, or anything. And you know, I've looked at a lot of the stuff that he's done and to do with the girls and the connections with the police and this, that, and the other, and how corrupt the councils are. I know all this, and I talk about the same things, but on a smaller scale. I don't have a media company to go to Ireland or anything, and I can't do big documentaries. But a lot of the stuff that's said in anyone to do with child sexual exploitation, I've done myself. I've been to the court case. I've talked to the victims. I've supported them. I've gone to police stations. I've questioned police over it, like Britain First. I've done all this, but on a smaller scale. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. The biggest election in Oldham's history, the biggest election. Again, I've got a lot to do. I want to join. I want to go down to White Bank Road, look, check out that Avro Club, listen to some stuff. And honestly, I ain't got the video, but a guy, he's posted a video and he stood at his front door. And then, honestly, you can feel the air vibrating with the beat of the music. It's that loud. This is on a Sunday, this. And he says it goes on from morning till night. And I'm like, oh, I couldn't handle it. I have to look after my mum and live in all the time. And I can't handle that. I couldn't handle that. But thank you very much. I'm off, guys. Thank you very much. Good evening to everyone. Don't forget, I put all my links in. My PayPal's there. I put the party link up. You can donate through there. We have a thing where you can donate through card payment, through Stitch, I think it is, or something like that. Well, there's all my info. No worries, James. No worries. Whatever you can do, you can share, post, anything. Get doing it. But thank you very much, and I'll see everyone soon. Thank you.